enclosed glass hallway sparkled as snow began to fall outside. I didn't linger like I was tempted to. Hopefully the snow wouldn't affect the bonfire. If it stayed light, it would make it magical. A perfect night for confessions. Jeff wasn't going to freak out when I told him, was he? No. He'd been flirting with me all night. He'd even picked the same era as I had for the history essay. I didn't think that was a coincidence. As for the cabin with the girls after the bonfire, the snow would be perfect. Maybe we'd get snowed in. That had happened once before. At first, it had stressed me out, but it ended up being the best weekend ever. Hot chocolate and tubing and ghost stories. I reached the door to the parking garage and gave the metal bar a shove. It didn't budge. I pushed a second time. Nothing. Jeff? Dallin, you're not funny. I pressed my nose against the glass, but as far as I could see both ways, there were absolutely no cars or people. Lisa? Out of habit, I reached for my cell phone. My hand met only the empty pocket of my jeans. I'd put my black weekend bag with all my stuff, cell phone, clothes, jacket, purse, snacks, camera, medication, in Jeff's trunk. No. I ran the entire library searching for another way out, a way that apparently didn't exist. 6 doors to the outside, and they were all locked. And so there I was, back leaned up against the door to the parking garage, its cold seeping into my skin, stuck in a big, empty library, caffeine and anxiety battling it out in my body. A heart-fluttering panic worked its way up my chest and took my breath away. Calm down. They'll be back, I told myself. There had just been too many people getting into too many different cars. They all thought I was with someone else. Once the 4 cars reached the bonfire, someone would notice I wasn't there, and they'd come back. I calculated the time that would take. 30 minutes up the canyon, 30 minutes back. I'd be here for an hour. Well, then they'd have to find someone with a key to open this door. But that wouldn't take much longer. They'd all have phones. They could call the fire department if they had to. Okay, now I was getting dramatic. No emergency departments would have to be called. My pep talk helped. This was nothing to get worked up about. I didn't want to leave my post for fear my friends wouldn't see me when they came back. Or I wouldn't see or hear them. But without my phone or my camera, I had no way of passing the time. I started humming a song very badly, then laughed at my effort. Maybe I'd just count the holes in the ceiling panels, or... I looked around and came up empty. How did people pass the time without cell phones? Skies are blue, birds fly over the rainbow. My singing wasn't going to earn me a record deal anytime soon, but that hadn't stopped me from belting out a few songs at the top of my lungs. I stopped, my throat raw. It had been at least an hour. My butt was numb, and the chill from the floor had crept up my body, making me shiver. They must turn the heat down on the weekend. I stood and stretched. Maybe this place had a phone somewhere. I hadn't thought to look until now. I'd never had to look for a phone. I always had my phone with me. For the 7th time that night, I walked back through the glass walkway. Everything was white now. The ground was covered in snow, the trees frosted with it. I wished I had my camera with me to capture the contrast of the scene. The dark lines of the building and trees against the stark whiteness of the snow. I didn't, so I kept walking. I started in the entryway, but couldn't find a phone anywhere. There might have been one in the locked office, but a big desk blocked my view. Even if I could see one, I obviously didn't have a key. Past a set of double glass doors was where half the books lived. The other half were behind me in the children's section. It was darker in there, and I lingered by the doors for a while, taking in the space before me. Large, solid shelves filled the center, surrounded by tables and seating areas. Computers. Along the side wall were computers. I could send an email or a direct message. It was even darker once I stepped all the way inside. Some tables